The notion that cutting hair during a full moon brings misfortune or disrupts natural energies is a superstition steeped in ancient traditions and lunar lore. Across cultures, the full moon has long been revered as a time of heightened spiritual power, influencing everything from tides to human behavior. Among the many taboos associated with this lunar phase, avoiding haircuts stands out as a curious and enduring belief. This video explores the origins, cultural significance, and symbolic meanings behind the taboo of cutting hair during a full moon, shedding light on why this practice persists in modern times. The full moon has held a sacred place in human history, symbolizing fertility, transformation, and divine energy in various cultures. Ancient civilizations, from the Babylonians to the Celts, tracked lunar cycles to guide agriculture, rituals, and daily life. The full moon's bright, radiant presence was often associated with heightened spiritual activity, making it a time for reverence, caution, or specific rituals. In many traditions, it was believed that actions taken during this phase could have amplified consequences for better or worse. Hair, too, carried profound symbolic weight. In ancient societies, hair was seen as an extension of the self, a conduit for spiritual energy or a symbol of strength and vitality. Think of the biblical story of Samson, whose power resided in his uncut locks. Cutting hair was not merely a practical act, but a ritual with potential to disrupt one's connection to the divine or natural world. Combining these beliefs, the taboo of cutting hair during a full moon likely emerged as a way to avoid tampering with personal or cosmic energies at a time of peak lunar influence. The taboo of cutting hair during a full moon appears in various forms across cultures, often tied to local spiritual or agricultural traditions. In some Asian cultures, particularly in parts of India and China, lunar phases guide personal grooming. For example, in Vedic astrology, the full moon is associated with heightened emotional and spiritual sensitivity, and cutting hair during this time is thought to weaken one's vitality or invite bad luck. Some texts suggest that haircuts on a full moon could disrupt the body's energy flow, as hair is believed to act as an antenna for cosmic energies. In European folklore, particularly among the Romani and other nomadic groups, cutting hair during a full moon was avoided due to its association with witchcraft or supernatural forces. The full moon was seen as a time when spirits were more active, and altering one's appearance could attract unwanted attention from otherworldly beings. Similarly, in some African and Native American traditions, hair is considered a sacred part of the body, and cutting it during significant lunar phases was thought to offend ancestors or disrupt harmony with nature. Agricultural cycles also influenced this taboo. In rural societies, the full moon was a time for planting or harvesting certain crops, as its light was believed to enhance growth. Hair, analogized to crops, was thought to grow stronger or healthier if left uncut during this fertile period. Some cultures even promoted cutting hair during the waxing moon, leading up to the full moon, to encourage growth, while avoiding the full moon itself to prevent overloading the body's energy. The taboo reflects deeper symbolic connections between hair, the moon, and human vitality. Hair is often seen as a repository of personal energy or identity, a belief echoed in practices like tonsure, shaving the head for spiritual purposes, or preserving hair clippings for rituals. The full moon, with its associations of completion and intensity, amplifies these beliefs. Cutting hair at this time might be seen as severing one's connection to the lunar cycle's power, weakening the spirit, or inviting chaos. In some esoteric traditions, the full moon is linked to the release of energy, making it a time for reflection rather than action. Cutting hair, an act of removal or change, could be interpreted as counteracting the moon's nurturing energy, leading to misfortune or imbalance. For example, in Wiccan and pagan practices, the full moon is a time for rituals of gratitude and manifestation, and cutting hair might disrupt these intentions. Like many superstitions, the taboo of cutting hair during a full moon serves psychological and social purposes. Psychologically, it provides a sense of control in an unpredictable world. By adhering to lunar-based rules, individuals feel aligned with natural rhythms, reducing anxiety about unseen forces. Socially, the taboo reinforces cultural identity and community cohesion. Shared beliefs about lunar taboos create bonds as people pass down stories or rituals such as waiting for a new moon to trim hair for good fortune. The taboo also reflects a broader human tendency to anthropomorphize natural phenomena. The full moon's dramatic presence invites narratives about its influence, and hair, as a visible and personal feature, becomes a natural focal point for these stories. Even today, some people avoid haircuts during a full moon out of habit or respect for tradition, even if they don't fully believe in the consequences. From a scientific standpoint, there's no evidence that cutting hair during a full moon has any tangible effect on health, luck, or hair growth. Hair growth is determined by genetics, hormones, and nutrition, not lunar phases. The full moon's influence on human behavior, sometimes called the lunar effect, has been studied extensively, with no conclusive evidence linking it to significant physiological or psychological changes. For example, studies on sleep patterns or hospital admissions during full moons show mixed results, suggesting that any perceived effects may stem from confirmation bias or cultural conditioning. However, the lack of scientific backing doesn't diminish the taboo's cultural significance. Superstitions often persist because they address emotional or existential needs, not because they're empirically verifiable. The act of avoiding a haircut during a full moon may simply be a way to honor tradition or feel connected to ancestral wisdom. In contemporary society, the taboo of cutting hair during a full moon lingers in pockets of cultural practice, particularly in communities with strong ties to folklore or spirituality. Hairdressers in some regions report clients scheduling appointments around lunar cycles, preferring waxing or waning phases for cuts. Online forums and social media, including posts on X, reveal ongoing discussions about lunar grooming habits, with some users swearing by the benefits of timing haircuts with the moon's phases for thicker, healthier hair. The taboo also finds a place in modern wellness and spiritual movements. Influencers in astrology or holistic health often advocate lunar-based self-care, including avoiding haircuts during the full moon to preserve energy. While these claims lack scientific support, they reflect a broader trend of seeking meaning in natural cycles, especially in an era of environmental and spiritual reconnection. The taboo of cutting hair during a full moon is a fascinating blend of ancient beliefs, cultural symbolism, and human psychology. Rooted in the reverence for the full moon's power and hair's spiritual significance, this superstition reflects humanity's enduring need to find meaning in the cosmos. While science debunks any direct link between lunar phases and haircuts, the taboo persists as a testament to the power of tradition and storytelling. Whether you choose to snip your locks under a full moon or wait for a quieter phase, this belief invites us to pause and consider the ancient rhythms that still shape our lives. In a world driven by logic, the taboo reminds us that a touch of mystery can still guide our choices.